Hello, this is Sheshachalam from AstroGuide Mysore, and today we are discussing about the two planetary combinations, and today it is Diguru Yoga of Jupiter and Venus. And we are going to understand what this combination is going to do when it is sitting in the Kendras, the first, the fourth, the seventh, and the 10th. So, this is a series of planetary combinations in Kendras, and we have three more combinations to go, and I'll be finishing this particular series. So, when we go into the Jupiter and Venus, we know that Diguru Yoga is one exceptional yoga because it is a manthana, what we call as continuous churning. Manthana means churning of the mind to act either towards the materialistic side of the world or towards the uh, theoretical, spiritualistic, righteous path of the world. Jupiter is only for wisdom and all sorts of financial brain thinking and greatness of virtue. But Venus is fully into implementation, practicality, industries, business, everything very much close to the reality of materialism. So, the confluence of these two planets can give rise to many things, and we have done this earlier also with combination of planets. It's in a generalistic way, and today we are discussing with regard to how this is going to result in a particular native's life when it is posited in the first, fourth, seventh, and 10th houses. So, in the first house, I call this as one of the strongest Raja Yogas because it gives the churning. The mind keeps going into, the person will go through both materialistic and philosophical or spiritual acquisition and experience in life, and will have a flair in the subject as he has studied and implemented. See, just studying is like acquiring knowledge. Implementing it is a totally different subject that you are going now like an engineer has done his engineering, and now he goes into the industry, and now he is going to implement his knowledge in the industry. So that part is the Venus where the creativity of implementation comes. He will face a lot of challenges. Everybody faces challenges, corrections, and learning. All these three happen when you do implementations. So he will be exhibiting excellent qualities while he is doing implementation of the education or knowledge what he has acquired in his lifetime because of this Dviguru Yoga. So the point is, if Venus is retrograde in this position or Jupiter is combust, this particular you know combination will not be fully giving you the results. So, what will happen in that period of time? If Venus is retrograde, then the person will have trust issues, confusions in investments, and confusion into, he will feel that I might have done something wrong. So, he is not sure about his work. If Jupiter itself is combust, then he will have doubts on his basic study itself. So the knowledge itself will become a doubtful case. So he'll be skeptical about most of the things. Will avoid marriage or bonding till he or she meets the right person. So meeting the right person itself will become a huge thing, that they'll be thinking that why am I not getting the right person in my life when all other people are getting married? So this is when any one of the planet is either retrograde or combust. So if if Venus is retrograde or when Jupiter is combust. So this thing can happen. So let us go to the fourth house. I'm giving you the review of 4 or 5 points on every house. So, when the fourth house is seen, Venus becomes the Karaka for the fourth house, being the signifier of the Sukha, that is the enjoyment through luxury, enjoyment through conveyances, through facilities. So Venus in the fourth house is a great combination when it is along with Jupiter, because the fourth house is also for uh, acquiring qualifications, education, going up to a very high level in acquiring master degrees or going into doctorates. So how come from the fourth can you see this is because if you take the combination, this combination for any sign, I'll just give you arbitrarily, we'll take any sign. Let us take Libra. For Libra, Venus becomes the ascendant lord, and sitting in the fourth house, you will have Jupiter. Sitting in the fourth house, you will have Jupiter in the debilitation point, and Venus in a very good point because it is the friend sign. But Jupiter here is the third and the sixth lord. Being a malefic for that ascendant, being the third and the sixth lord, becomes positive when he sits in the fourth house, though it is debilitated because it is sitting with the eighth lord. The sixth lord and the eighth lord coming together in the fourth house gives extraordinary strength for a person to pursue in qualification. I'm not talking about the other things of life. There will be some problems in life. That is a different issue altogether. But with regard to acquiring knowledge, that is a great position. So you go to any of the, Lagna, you will find that these two have varied lordships, and both of them will give excellent, one will contradict the other, or will it is like a contrast. So both when they mix together, they become strong, very strong. It is like, putting sand and cement together. They become a strong combination like mortar. So this particular thing gives a yoga to the native for acquiring luxurious materialistic benefits along with position, status, and higher levels of jobs. Like a person is very good in his job, respected in the society, and also has material acquisitions. This particular combination can do that. So excellent in communication and hence will have good friends and good associates. How come they are very good in communication? Communication happens when the third lord or the Lagna lord is well posited. So you again take any Lagna, you will get very good combinations. Like if I take Scorpio, Jupiter is the second lord, fantastic. If I take the corner house, that is the Pisces, then Venus becomes the third lord. You take Mercury's ascendant like Mithuna Rashi, then we have the fifth and the 10th lord sitting together, that is in the fourth house. Communication becomes a very strong kind of an armory in their particular thing, and they use it for getting into very good positions like people who are in as a professors or in marketing or in very good negotiators or even liaison officers. So, and these people with all these things will also have traditional values, religious practices, and except when Venus is retrograde, I will not take this thing because it again become a point of contemplation as to whether the person will get into traditional practices or not. But if it is normally posited, yes, the person will have good traditional outlook. Going into the seventh house, which is Satkalatra Yoga. I have done this yoga on YouTube separately, but we don't have to even think about it. We have two beautiful planets who are excellent benefics, natural benefics, sitting together in the seventh house, which gives rise to Satkalatra Yoga, that is getting a virtuous or a very nice, knowledgeable spouse. The negative is also there, immediately attached. This is also called as Diguru Yoga, that is Jupiter and Venus, which also I have done a video on Diguru Yoga. The negatives of the Diguru Yoga is that you take your spouse as a challenge. Please don't take your spouse as a challenge. Nobody should take your spouse as a challenge. You have any questions or doubts, please ask them outside to your mentor, because your spouse is not your mentor. So you are not asking answers of your doubts to your spouse. Ask it to your mentor, ask it to your professor, ask it to somebody else Go and consult a counselor or an advisor or an advocate. Please do not keep digging with the spouse, asking that, you tell me, you have to tell me. If you don't tell me, I don't do this, I don't do that, then nothing will happen. Then there will be disturbance in married life. And this can be controlled by conscious effort, not just like that. It is not an easy point. See, when there are malefics which are giving problems, some or the other, uh, you know, points like you getting involved into some job or going into yoga class or doing some running, getting distractions, you can solve the problem. But when benefics, natural benefics are becoming a headache, oh my God, it is not easy for you to simply run away from the trouble. So you need to be very conscious. Okay. But if you are good and conscious, are able to keep good relationship with your spouse and your partners in business, because they're also, the amount of trust and difficulties, if Jupiter is combust in the seventh house, it gives a lot of difficulties in trust. So when you have difficulties in trusting a person, how will a partnership in business run? So seventh house is for business and partnerships. So it will not run. It will show difficulties. So to enjoy materialistic luxuries and position in society, consciously you should be aware what you are talking and with whom you are talking, and the intensity in which you are trying to put that, lock or pressure on that person. Be careful there. 10th house, that is the fourth Kendra, which is the Karmasthana. So, once again, fantastic position to be there, and he can become a judge, a counselor, a strong position for becoming an administrator, businessman, professor, magistrate, all those places where he will be taking, or he or she will be taking managerial decisions, policy decisions, not just executive decisions. It's not like, okay, those that particular company wants 10 boxes. Okay, this particular company was 16 boxes. Okay, I'll write it down. Again, call the warehouse and tell, okay, 10 box to A, 15 box to B. No, not that. This is policy making. They are very good in charting out and planning policies and new methodologies in which the industry or the company can run. These people are very strong in that. So this is an excellent position for an astrologer to have Venus and Jupiter in the 10th house. So it's one of the strongest positions for an astrologer. So, but if it has a malefic influence, the native will go through, many other problems, like go through early marriage, uh, going through a break in a marriage, or going through a second marriage. All these things can happen even if the same thing happens in the seventh house also. If you are having, let us say, a retro Venus, and or there is a combustion, there is a chance that, anyway, I told you, the Diguru yoga is already there to trouble. So Dvikalatra yoga also can be formed, because one is a Putra Karaka, one is the Kalatra Karaka. That is, one is for progeny, the other one is for marriage or the spouse. And it is also to be reversed in the case of a female, where, because many books have defined Jupiter as the Karaka for spouse and Venus as the Karaka for children, because it is the Karaka for fertility in the seventh house for a female child. So the role reversal happens there. So that is why I am telling that if they are posited malefically or with some malefic influence, or let us say it is combust, please keep your cool, get the medical checkups done, keep your health in good condition. I don't think there should be any problem in having children. But usually I have seen in many charts that the seventh and the 10th house, when this particular combination of Venus and Jupiter is afflicted, people go through tough marriage and difficulty in having children. So thank you very much. uh, yeah, you have any other questions with regard to this? So, okay, she wants me to give examples. Okay, I'll give you examples on the lagnas for this particular thing. You will understand. I'll take you to some difficult lagnas. Like the difficult lagna here, what I'm talking is Leo ascendant. For Leo ascendant, why is it so difficult? Because Venus is the third lord, Jupiter is the fifth lord, Jupiter is also the eighth lord, and Venus is the 10th lord for Leo ascendant, Simha Lagna. Venus becomes the Upachaya Sthanadipati, that is the third and the 10th lord, which wants you to grow up in life, grow high in life. This particular combination in general for Leo is not such an easy combination, because the third and the fifth lord sitting together is not a problem, because third and fifth are having very good influence with each other, because the fifth house is the third from the third house, excellent in communication. But the catch is that Jupiter is the eighth lord for Simha, and if you are not careful with this combination and its position, that is, you don't have to be careful with the combination, you need to be careful about yourself, that you need to take care of your health. So whenever Jupiter is the eighth lord, Venus is the eighth lord in this particular combination, and whenever Jupiter is the sixth lord for Karkataka Lagna, particularly for Karkataka Lagna, and it becomes the sixth lord, which Venus becomes the sixth lord for its own Lagna of Taurus. Why Taurus is so important here is because Jupiter is the eighth lord and Venus is the sixth lord. You have two dangerous positions, as lordships, and wherever they are posited for Taurus, there is a chance that they can give problems of infertility, problems like endometriosis for women, problems like adenomyosis, or what we call as difficulty in like PCOD or PCOS. If they are retro combust, these problems are there. Even if they are not, also there is problem. What if for males, for particularly Taurus ascendant, these people can go into low back pains, problems of the prostate in the later ages. So there are problems related with medical astrology here, because I have not taken this medical astrology into detail for these four kendras. I have not done it for any of the positions much. But anyway, medical astrology as a subject will be taken up as an advanced study, will be given in detail. So thank you very much for today's class.